In the McBee dynasty, real American cowboys, the men often find themselves navigating complex situations, highlighting the crucial support they receive from the women in their lives. Stephen McBee Jr., in particular, demonstrates the immense pressure of managing a company, handling sensitive external matters, and maintaining personal relationships. The narrative suggests that the McBee men, especially Stephen, face significant hurdles when operating without their key female counterparts, leading to a series of difficult decisions. The McBee dynasty is a reality show that follows the McBee family as they strive to sustain their business amidst various personal challenges. While the first season centered on Steve McBee Sr., the second season shifts its focus to his son, Stephen, due to Steve Sr.'s past issues. However, Stephen is finding it difficult to manage all the changes and responsibilities. Stephen's business challenges and external pressures. Since his father's reduced involvement in McBee Farm and Cattle, Stephen has been working to transition the business towards meat distribution. Despite differing opinions from Cole McBee, Stephen believes meat sales are essential for the company's financial success. Stephen secures a significant deal with Arthur Bryant's Barbecue, a renowned restaurant. However, when Galina Salkovska becomes unavailable, Stephen struggles to manage the operation independently. Galina is presented as a vital figure at McBee Farm and Cattle. When her personal circumstances create a disruption, Stephen loses track of critical plans, including the initial delivery to Arthur Bryant's. Stephen enlists Jesse McBee's help, pulling him away from his fiancée and impacting Jesse's relationship. Due to a 2-hour delay, the deal with Arthur Bryant's is jeopardized. Stephen attributes the issue to Galina's absence, but it becomes clear that he struggles to manage the business without her consistent support. Meanwhile, it's revealed that Stephen has been trying to keep an ongoing external inquiry private from the McBee dynasty production, but this effort proves unsuccessful in a recent episode. Besides Stephen, only Galina and matriarch Christy McBee are aware of this situation. Stephen's initial call for guidance was to his mother, Christy, indicating his need for support in bearing the weight of this challenge. Even after her divorce from Steve Sr., Christy continues to assist the McBee men through their difficulties. Stephen McBee's relationship difficulties. Beyond the business and external pressures, Stephen's relationship with Calla Jackson, his on-again off-again girlfriend, has also suffered. Throughout Season 2, Calla expressed her hurt over the McBee family's perceived coldness after her sister's passing. It is later revealed that Stephen had advised the family not to engage with her. Stephen then communicated misleadingly to Calla, suggesting the family was simply uncomfortable. Upon discovering this, Calla confronts Stephen, expressing her anger. Initially, Stephen acknowledges his actions but then redirects the discussion, placing blame on her. Calla departs, and upon her return, Stephen informs her that he mentioned her attendance at a family gathering, which was also inaccurate. Stephen's actions consistently create distance in his relationship with Calla, and he is seen as responsible for its deterioration. Other McBee brothers also face struggles. With their father's prominent role, it appears the McBee brothers often rely on significant others or supportive figures. Jesse's relationship with his fiancée, Ale Ventresca, is severely strained when he prioritizes business over their plans and issues an ultimatum regarding their living situation. Even Cole, who is generally depicted as the most stable sibling, needs a reminder from family friend Tessa Lawler to contact his pregnant girlfriend. The narrative implies a recurring theme that the McBee men often benefit greatly from the guidance and support of the women in their lives. Stephen's experiences underscore the challenges the McBee men face without strong female support. With numerous problems converging on the family, Stephen found it difficult to maintain smooth operations, which potentially jeopardized their business and certainly impacted his personal relationship. His mother, Christy, and business partner, Galina, have provided considerable assistance, but this level of support may not be sustainable indefinitely. The McBee men, particularly Stephen, appear to struggle significantly without the women who provide stability and guidance. The dust motes danced in the slivers of sunlight piercing the barn doors, illuminating the frantic energy that usually hummed through McBee farm and cattle. Today, however, it felt more like a discordant hum, a vibrating tension under Stephen McBee Jr.'s skin. His father, Steve Sr., had finally ceded the reins, leaving Stephen to navigate the unruly beast of their legacy. And an unruly beast it was proving to be. The weight of the ranch. Stephen wiped beads of sweat from his brow, smudging grease from a busted hydraulic hose onto his forehead. The air was thick with the scent of diesel and the unspoken weight of his responsibilities. He'd envisioned a seamless transition to meat distribution, a bold new frontier for McBee farm and cattle. Cole, his brother, scoffed at the idea, preferring the familiar rhythm of cattle auctions, but Stephen knew their future lay in those meticulously packaged cuts of beef. He'd even landed a whale of a deal, Arthur Bryant's Barbecue, a Kansas City institution. This was it, the turning point. But the turning point felt more like a pivot into chaos. "Where in the hell is Galena?" Stephen muttered, tossing a wrench into a nearby toolbox with a clang. The initial delivery to Arthur Bryant's was slated for noon. It was 10:30 a.m., and the truck wasn't even loaded. Galena Salkowska, his invaluable right hand, was a ghost. Her efficiency was legendary, her organizational skills the bedrock upon which Stephen's grand plans rested. Without her, the meticulously planned logistics had crumbled into a pile of illegible notes and half-finished tasks. He'd called Jesse, his younger brother, in a desperate plea for help. Jesse, bless his heart, had grumbled but arrived, leaving his fiancée, Allie, fuming about their canceled lunch plans. The tension between Jesse and Allie was palpable, a direct consequence of Stephen's scrambling. As they wrestled with a stubbornly recalcitrant forklift, Stephen felt the familiar sting of resentment. He'd specifically told Galena to double-check the delivery schedule. This was her oversight, wasn't it? The truck, finally loaded and rumbling, pulled out of the yard 2 hours late. Stephen could already feel the deal with Arthur Bryant slipping through his fingers like sand. He replayed the conversation in his head. The brusque voice of the restaurant manager, the implicit threat of pulling the plug. He wanted to blame Galena, to shout her name into the empty barn, but a quiet, insidious voice in the back of his mind whispered the truth: he was lost without her. Her absence hadn't just disrupted the schedule. It had exposed a gaping hole in his own ability to manage the intricate dance of the business. A web of secrets and lies. The business woes, however, were just one thread in the tangled knot of Stephen's life. Beneath the surface, a more sinister current pulled him under. An ongoing external inquiry, a shadow he desperately tried to keep hidden from the ever-present cameras of the McBee dynasty, had recently burst into the light. Only Galena and his mother, Christy, knew the full extent of it. His first frantic call for guidance had been to Christy. Even after her divorce from Steve Sr., Christy remained the unwavering matriarch, a lighthouse in their often stormy lives. She'd listened, her voice calm and steady, offering advice and reassurance that chipped away at the suffocating weight on his chest. It was a testament to her strength, a quiet affirmation that even when his world felt like it was fracturing, she was there to help piece it back together. But even Christy, with all her wisdom, couldn't bear the full burden. A collapsing relationship. The pressure from the business and the external inquiry bulled into every other aspect of Stephen's life, none more so than his volatile relationship with Calla Jackson. Their on-again, off-again dance felt more like a perpetual stumble. Calla had been hurting profoundly after her sister's passing, and the McBee family's perceived coldness had only twisted the knife. The truth, a bitter pill he'd swallowed and then regurgitated as a lie, was that Stephen had told his family to keep their distance. He'd rationalized it as protecting Kala, giving her space, but it was a flimsy excuse for his own inability to navigate emotional complexity. Instead, he'd fed Kala a vague, misleading narrative about the family being uncomfortable. The confrontation, when it came, was a volcanic eruption. Kala, her eyes blazing, accused him of deception, of twisting her pain into something it wasn't. Stephen, initially contrite, quickly retreated to his usual defense mechanism, deflection. He shifted the blame, pointing out her own perceived flaws, her own emotional responses. The argument spiraled, culminating in Kala storming out, the silence she left behind echoing his own isolation.